video, our first video for happy 2026. We have not done a live again. Oh, we have not done a live again. Hi guys, Mukovipe. Anyway, guys, so it's been a while we did a live, and I just felt the need to do live today because I found time to do live today, guys. 2026 is a busy year. Okay, it's gonna be a very busy year, busy but smooth and sweet, full. I'm pregnant with goodies. Yeah, so Prom, Ebu come and open this back door for a while. Um, yeah, so guys, very soon it's like people will call me book reviewer because um I have been reading one book like that, and I got some good things inside that I wanted to share with you guys. I felt that they might be useful to you. This book is called The Power of Positive Thinking, page 85. I want to quickly share page 85 with you guys. Page 85. There's something that stood out for me. I'm going to read it through for you, so just listen, okay? The title here is Expect the Best and Get It. Expecting the best is simply believing. Believe that you will get, because if you don't believe, you will not be expectant. Yeah. It starts like this. Why does my boy fail in every job he gets? Asked a puzzled father about his 30-year-old son. It was indeed difficult to understand the failure. Please carry that phone and go to your room. It was indeed difficult to understand the failure of this young man. Go to your room and watch it there. Give Maya the phone. It was indeed difficult to understand the failure of this young man, for seemingly he had everything. Give me that phone if you are not going to your room. Give it to me. Oh yeah, go. Carry it and go. Give her the phone. Go to your room. Guys, let me start again. This children, they will not allow somebody to do something. Expect the best and get it. Why does my boy fail in every job he gets? Asked a puzzled father about this 30-year-old son. It was indeed difficult to understand the failure of this young man, for seemingly he had everything. Of good family, his educational and business opportunities were beyond the average. Nevertheless, he had a tragic flair for failure. Everything he touched went wrong. He tried hard enough, yet somehow he missed success. Presently, he found an answer, a curiously simple but potent answer. After practicing this newfound secret for a while, he lost the flair for failure and acquired the touch of success. His personality began to focus and his powers to fuse. Not long ago at luncheon, I could not help admiring this dynamic man at the height of his power. "You amaze me," I commented. "A few years ago, you were failing at everything. Now you have worked up an original idea into a fine business. You are a leader in your community. Please explain this remarkable change in you." "Really, it was quite simple," he replied. "I merely learned the magic of believing. I discovered that if you expect the worst, you will get the worst. And if you expect the best, you will get the best. It all happened through actually practicing a verse from the Bible. And what is that verse? If thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. Mark chapter 9 verse 23. I was brought up in a religious home, he explained, and heard that verse many times before, but it had any effect upon me. One day in your church, I heard you emphasize those words in a talk. In a flash of insight, I realized that the key I had missed was that my mind was not trained to believe, to think positively, to have faith in either God or myself. I followed I followed your suggestion of putting myself in God's hands and practice your outline techniques of faith. I trained myself to think positively about everything. Along with that, I tried to live right. He smiled and said, God and I struck up a partnership. When I opted that policy, things began to change almost at once for me. I got into the habit of expecting the best, not the worst, and that is the way my affairs have turned out lately. I guess it's a kind of miracle, isn't it? He asked as he concluded his fascinating story. But it wasn't miraculous at all. Actually, what had happened was that he had learned to use one of the most powerful laws in the world, a law recognized alike by psychology and religion, namely, change your mental habits to believe instead of disbelief. Learn to expect, not to doubt. In so doing, you bring everything into the realm of possibility. If you jump to the next page, that is page 87, somewhere there it says they didn't expect to win. There was a team that was playing, and then they kept failing. And then it was in Dallas. It was a club in Dallas. So they say playing the Dallas club, other poor team that year, only a San Antonio player got a hit, and that, strangely enough, was the pitcher. O'Reilly's team was bad beaten that day. In the clubhouse after the game, the players were as disconsolate lots. Josh O'Reilly knew that he had an aggregation of stars, and he realized that their trouble was simple, that they were thinking wrong. They didn't expect to get a hit. They didn't expect to win. They expected to be defeated. They were thinking not victory but defeat. Their mental pattern was not one of expectation but of doubt. This negative mental process inhibited them, froze their muscles, threw them off their timing, and there was no free flow of easy power through the team. So what am I saying in essence? His name is Salma. Who is Salma? Bikuru. Eh? What's the name? Mbik HC7UR. His name is Sam. Who is Salma? Hi, how are you? Thank you for coming. So, I'm saying that this team that was playing in Dallas, they had negativity, they had doubt, and somehow they were failing. But again, after that page, there is another paragraph where they change their mindset. Hmm? Yeah, so it says the next day they overwhelmed Dallas, getting 37 base hits. Okay, so let me just continue from where I stopped. It so happened that a preacher named Schla, eh? A preacher named, is it Scalter or Sclatter, was popular in that neighborhood at that time. He claimed to be a faith healer and apparently was getting some astounding results. Throngs crowded to hear him, and most everybody had confidence in him. Perhaps the fact that they did believe in his power enables Carter to achieve results. O'Reilly asked each player to lend him his two best bats. Then he asked the members of the team to stay in the clubhouse until he returned. He put the bats in a wheelbarrow and went off with them. He was gone for an hour. He returned jubilantly to tell the players that Slater, the preacher, had blessed the bats and that these bats now contained a power that could not be overcome. The players were astounded and delighted. The next day, they overwhelmed Dallas, getting 37 base hits and 20 runs. They hammered their way through the league to a championship, and Hank Fullerton said that for years in the Southwest, a player would play a large sum for a Slater bat. Regardless of Slater's personal power, the fact remains that something tremendous happened in the minds of those ball players. Their thought pattern was changed. They began thinking in terms of expectation and not doubt. They expected not the worst, but the best. They expected hits, runs, victories, and they got them. They had the power to get what they wanted. There was no difference in the bats themselves. I am quite sure of that. But certainly a difference in the minds of the men who used them. Now they knew they could make hits. Now they knew they could get rams. Now they knew they could win. A new thought pattern changed the minds of those men so that the creative power of faith could operate. Now, they were told that these bats were blessed by the preacher. Funny enough, O'Reilly, who carried the bats, is the one that is saying that, I'm sure nothing happened to the bat. See, the power of positive thinking. If you think positively, you have expectations. And if you're expecting something good will be attracted to you. That's just how the law works within the universe. That's why you see some people, they are very poor. And even in the next life, they will keep being poor, their generation will be poor. Why? It's their mindset. Nobody in that generation has stood up to think outside the box, to think like we can do better, we can achieve better, we can get better, we can eat better, feed better, live better, and sleep better. No, nobody has thought about that. Everybody has a closed mind. They're always doubting. Are you sure we can? Are you sure? Can we really? Really? You know, when somebody puts really, it's like the person is not even sure about what he's doing. You understand? So, what am I trying to say in essence? The reason why I decided to read this book. It looks as if I'm doing a review, a book review. Yeah. What's the name of the guy? Norman Vincent. I'm doing your book review. So, since I started reading this book, it has helped me. I can't lie. And I'm one person that if I do something and it helps me, I feel the need to share with other people so that it can help them as well. It has helped me a lot. It has changed the way I see things, the way I think sometimes. It's normal for human beings to be low. Sometimes you feel low, sometimes you feel like it's not gonna work. But this book, this red book, this book will tell you that this book will tell you that it's gonna work. It's either it works or it works. We do not have other choice. And it will give you examples, many examples of people that were just like you and I, that things were not working for them. And they started reading, and they started exercising, and they started thinking. So I want you today to challenge yourself. Every day when you wake up, just tell yourself that if God is for me, nobody can be against me. Tell yourself that this is the day that the Lord has made. I shall rejoice and be glad in it. Because it's the day that God has made, everything in it will be beautiful. Nothing bad will come out of it. I thrive where I'm planted. Nothing dies in my hands. Anything I touch blossoms. I want you to be saying these things to yourself on a daily basis. Guys, you're going to see change. Imagine, ever since I started talking these things to myself, days have become shorter and sweeter, and I don't lack anything. Do you know the way sometimes you feel like, this day is too long and it's too boring and I'm too sad and I'm just thinking, what time will I go back home? When will I finish from work to go back home? I don't think that anymore. Days are faster, they are quicker, my work is more enjoyable, I feel better. Before you know it's evening, I'm like, we're already closing from work. I go home is nice, just to bond with my kids and my husband. Everything is nice, everything is just working for good. So I want you to tell yourself those words, guys. Tell yourself that everything is good for you, okay? People are defeated in life not because of lack of ability but lack of wholeheartedness. They do not wholeheartedly expect to succeed. Their heart isn't in it, which is to say they themselves are not fully given to the results. Results do not yield themselves to the person who refuses to give them to the desired results, to give themselves. People fail because you have half expectation. Even you don't believe that you deserve something good. You just think that 50-50 chances, it might be good or it might not. No. Refuse to take 50-50. Tell yourself that you deserve the best and the best you shall have, and you'll see the best will come to you. Yeah. So guys, I didn't want this video to be too long. You can see it's already 15 minutes in. Thank you so much for watching. I'll try and be doing more lives. Well, I've not done live for a very long time now. I just felt the need to come and share this with you. Like, share, comment, and let's meet in our next video. And if you have not watched our latest upload, they're very encouraging. Please go and watch. And God bless you and your family. Okay, bye.